Okay, Mackenzie, taking a look at your landscape photos here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, interesting little boardwalk there. That looks really like a neat place to go. Okay, so F8 and ISO of 200, definitely the right kind of ISO to have for being outside there. Okay, so now I see you're doing the exposure compensation thing here. Good. So yeah, happy to see that you adjusted your exposure compensation on that. Good. Okay, F8. Now this shot looks a little on the soft side. Um, so it might be due to camera shake or something like that. Let's see. Oh yeah. So your exposure here, 15th of a second. Unless you were on a tripod, that's a little tough to hand hold. So when you get down here and you're outside and you're shooting and the light is dim like this, on a cloudy day like that, you see over here your ISO is at 200. Your aperture is at f8. That's good for in terms of getting a bigger depth of field. But your shutter speed's down here at a 20th of a second. Very tough to hand hold unless you're on a tripod. So I'd recommend if you're hand holding this to bump up your ISO to like 400, 800, even 1600 for something like this, so that you can get a higher shutter speed in combination with the higher aperture for the depth of field. So you can see right here, even a 10th of a second, tough to hand hold. F8, that's giving you a really nice depth of field there. That's good. And I like the shot itself. It's turned out quite nice. In terms of very dramatic. With a big tree and the roots like that. Very nice. Okay, and the fact that you backed off a little bit, another variation on this particular shot, looks good. Okay, yeah, this shot, very nice. This looks like it could be also a really good black and white kind of shot too. And you get this nice kind of S curve going on here with the water and the creek. Okay, that's good. Your ISO at 200, good. And your shutter speed here, once again, you might want to consider bumping that ISO up a little bit so you have a little bit faster shutter speed. Okay, and this is good. Would love to see this in black and white, where you could kind of maybe burn this down a little bit on the sides here and have this kind of highlight of the path going off into the distance. So, but it works well in terms of being able to show the foreground, middle ground, and background. This one I like very much. Love the texture of these mushrooms on the moss on the tree here. Also, it looks like could be a nice black and white shot too. And on this one, since you're in really close right there, even though it is at f8, love the fact that you get this real shallow depth of field. Now, here's also another one of those things where if you had bumped that ISO up a little higher, you wouldn't have a 10th of a second. You can see you get a little camera shake going there. So, aside from that, it worked out to be a nice image. And this is certainly very dramatic. I love how you're in really close and just showing the moss-covered mushrooms here. And you don't get a sense of scale, which is really nice because they could be really small, they could be really big, but in terms of the pattern that they create, very nice. Okay, nice shot showing the park building off in the background. And here you have plenty of light, so your exposure's back up at an 80th of a second. So, no problems there. Also here, 50th of a second, shouldn't have any problems in terms of hand holding, and you can see how nice and sharp everything is there too. So that worked out really well. Okay, and this one's kind of turned on its side here. Okay, love the look of these old stone steps. That's really quite nice. The Bog of Eternal Stench. So I imagine you put that in there in Photoshop. But love the look of what you got going on here. Love how they have the foam on the water here, contrasting with these whatever this is. I don't know what that is. Some sort of waterway. So water, some kind of maybe boardwalk or something. I don't know. But and looks like some rebar up against a wooden surface here. Okay, so all right. And to finish things off, looks like you've got a great panorama. I love the fact that you can, if you did this, I don't know if you can do that in camera in a Canon EOS Rebel, but maybe you did this in Photoshop, putting this all together here. But wow! But in terms of being able to show a location wherever you are and put and include a panorama, I think always really adds to documenting any place that you go. So I think this is really well done. Aperture of f8. So your ISO is back up at 200 here. So all right. Overall, great job with everything that you've got. I guess my favorites, as I go back here, really like okay, I can see where you got the tree roots here as in terms of your exposure compensation, but really like the tree roots here. And I guess my favorite is this one right here with the moss color covered. I guess those are mushrooms. But really nicely done. Good job in terms of being able to use the exposure compensation and some really nicely composed images. So thank you very much.